Elected last April. You have the floor, sir. Mr. President of the French Republic, our host, dear heads of states and government, ladies and gentlemen ministers, Mr. Chair, President of the African Union Commission, Mr. President of the Board of Gavi, ladies and gentlemen ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like, first and foremost, to thank the French authorities for the warm welcome and the hospitality that were given to us since our arrival in Paris. I'm happy to
mais laata ñu ci ñëw ci yaatal gi dañ leen di wax képp koo xamante ne da nga bëgg a dégg anglais ci nu gaaw ci diir bu gàtt dama ne demal seeti waa Faye ñoom nga xamante ne am nañ ñaari centre de formation fii ci Sénégal waaye fële ci Rwanda am ay jàngalekat yu xarañ macha allah mën li ñu def képp koo xamante ne da nga leen a bëgg a contacter woo leen ci seen numéro yooyu 77 297 11 92 wala 77 100 00 11. dañuy def ay cours en ligne mais ak Faye da ngay wax anglais nu mu la neexee donc gars yi contacter leen na gaaw fekkee da ngeen a bëgg dégg anglais comme ni ko le président de la République Diomaye dégg rek donc woo leen waa Faye ñu teg leen ci yoon jàngal leen ci nu mu gën a gaawee ngeen déggu anglais ci nu mu gën a gaawee le président.
Today, in order to participate to this mobilization campaign in favor of innovation and vaccine sovereignty, to launch AVMA, the African Vaccine Manufacturing Accelerator. I would like to congratulate the organizers of this event, Gavi, the World Alliance for Vaccine, the African Union and CDC Africa, and our host, France, for their efforts to serve public health. Being here personally in the forum, I wanted to express my personal link to health and the position it takes into the positions of health in government. So the recent history and the COVID pandemic showed us how vulnerable we were, how ill-prepared we were to face pandemics. And consequently, health should be a constant priority of ours. A little more than 4 years ago, COVID had transformed our health systems and endangered the immunization systems that were put back in the cupboard because we had to fight the pandemic. But according to the reports of UNICEF for 2021, 23 million children had not received the basic vaccination doses necessary for the normal growth of a child at the heart of this pandemic crisis. COVID and the pandemic had showed the disparities, the structural disparities that existed between developing countries and developed countries in the field of immunization. And despite the fact that Africa represents 20% of world population today, without strong manufacturing industry of vaccines, we remain under the hand of others to cover our vaccine immunization needs. So this shows you the size of the effort to be made. Ladies and gentlemen, by concentrating our meeting today on the acceleration of vaccine manufacturing in Africa through AVMA, Gavi and the partners are walking the talk to improve the situation of Africa with regards to vaccination. We need medication, but we need vaccines. And we have suffered from that during the COVID-19 pandemic. And we saw the very late arrival of vaccines to the continent. One of the main challenges of Africa today is to produce vaccines, drugs, and diagnose and do diagnostic operations. We have to be able to reach the different platforms of drug distribution to reach the health level of the future. It is one of our challenges today, and we ask all the partners to support us today. This is an agenda which is a priority as important as any other priorities linked to war situations or climatic change. Africa has the local production capacity for vaccines, and some pioneering countries have committed on this way, such as Senegal with the Pasteur Institute of Dakar. This institute was created a century ago and has 100 years experience in the production of vaccines. The Dakar Institute, Pasteur Institute, produced its first vaccine against yellow fever in 1937. The same vaccine was pre-qualified by WHO in 1966, so more than 50 years ago. And trying to reinforce its achievements, willing to produce more vaccines on the continent. 60% of the vaccines produced in Africa by 2040. So in order to reach all those objectives, the Dakar Pasteur Institute has developed a very ambitious program estimated at $250 million. And the program aims at improving the whole value chain of immunization, from the definition of need to the production and distribution of vaccines. Acquisition of equipment are being finalized today. The Vaccinopole site of Djalminaju is one of the units of this program, and it will have a yearly production capacity of 3 million vaccines, and will use technological platforms such as mRNA. And we have developed a national agency for pharmaceutical regulations. It has evolved in order to reach the necessary level to be able to accredit the different vaccines. All this would not have been possible without an additional support by resources to finance research, innovation, and health infrastructure. And I would like to thank for that the country's institutions and partner organizations, first of which is Gavi, for the constant support they provide Senegal, and more specifically in promotion of immunization and vaccines. Our partnership with Gavi, and I have to stress this, has allowed us to have a lot of positive results. Thank you, Mr. Barroso, for this permanent support. It has contributed to the efficiency of our national immunization program and fighting against child mortality. Early child mortality. And I do know that Gavi does the same thing in other countries with the same positive results in the fields of health, prevention, and providing basic medical services fighting early childhood mortality. As an essential element of solidarity and recognizing the services given to beneficiary countries, Gavi deserves constant support of the international community. This is why, as President of the Republic of Senegal, I would like to call all countries and partner institutions in order to contribute very generously to the replenishment of the Gavi Fund for the period 2026-2030. Supporting Gavi financing is also investing strategically in the protection of our children, of the present and future generations. And I will be committed in this campaign in favor of Gavi, and I invite you all to mobilize together. Thank you for your attention.